Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu. Today we will discuss very important current affairs of 23rd of September 2020. You can see there are two references images of the today's current affair, but today we will discuss very important current affairs. Out of the very important current affairs, two or three current affairs are most important current affairs. So remember, I will mark the current affairs as a most important as we do daily. So, but before proceeding, I want to discuss about Affairs Cloud subscription. You can visit our website, that is Affairs Cloud /current affair for the subscription, or you can directly go to the subscription box under the description area. It means there is a link of subscription in the description box, so you can subscribe through the description box also. What you will get in the subscription of the current affairs PDF, you will get daily current affairs, you will get weekly PDFs, you will also get the weekly test and the monthly PDFs. Now, personally, I like two sections under the monthly PDFs. That one is the banking, finance, and economy. Because of the IBPS students, and these are very important because we only cover banking, finance, and economy for the IBPS section. And current affairs pocket PDF, this is for the revision of the monthly current affairs. So this is very important two sections under the monthly PDFs. So these all comes under the one subscription, and these are provided at very minimal cost, and these current affairs are provided in English as well as in Hindi. And on that minimal cost, we are providing 10% extra discount, and you can use my code, that is ASH10 if you want any 10% discount on that subscription amount. So let's start today's current affair, and here is our first news, that is Indo-Tibetan Border Police collaborated with which state tourism development board to promote adventure sports activities. So that's why the state government signed a MOU with the ITBP, that is the Indo-Tibetan Border Police, for 20 years. It means Adventure Institute will now be administered and managed by the ITBP for the 20 years. And there will be a training of water sports, including rowing, sailing, parasailing, paragliding, water ski, and so many things. Even there will be a water rescue system also. So this is started by the, or you can say this is a pact between ITBP and the Uttarakhand government. So remember this, Uttarakhand government, guys. So there is an adventure institute, that is the Tehri Lake Adventure Institute. So Indo-Tibetan Border Police tied up with this institute, that is the Tehri Lake Adventure Institute. And all you know, there is a Tehri Dam also. So with the name of the Tehri, you can remember this Tehri Dam also. That is on the river Bhagirathi. Bhagirathi. That is the name of Ganga in Uttarakhand, that is Bhagirathi. So remember this also. Uttarakhand, you know all about the Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand Chief Minister is Trivendra Singh Rawat ji. Capital is Dehradun. There are two capitals basically Uttarakhand. That is the Dehradun is in winter, and Gairsen in the Gairsen, Gairsain. Who don't know, please write it. That is the Gairsen in the summer. So remember this. So Dehradun in winter and Gairsen in summer. And who is the governor of the Uttarakhand? Uttarakhand governor is the Baby Rani Maurya. So this is very interesting name, Baby Rani Maurya. So remember this also. So there are very important national parks in Uttarakhand. One is the Jim Corbett National Park. Remember, this is the oldest national park of India. Jim Corbett National Park, Nanda Devi National Park also there, Rajaji National Park also there, Valley of Flowers National Park. These are very four important national parks in Uttarakhand. I am repeating again the name. One is the Jim Corbett National Park. Next is the Nanda Devi National Park. Next, Valley of Flowers National Park. And last one is the Rajaji National Park. These are very important. Otherwise, there is a Gangotri National Park also there. That is also important. But remember these four. These are very important. So all things we are discussed, you should know. So IDPP joins hand with the Uttarakhand government for promoting adventure tourism at the Tehri Lake. Remember this. So it is promote to adventure sports activity at Tehri Lake in Uttarakhand. I already told you. And this is agreement for the 20 years. It means MOU signed between the institute, that is the Tehri Lake Adventure Institute, and the Indo-Tibetan Border Police is for the 20 years. It will benefit IDPP and other center armed police forces and state police force in the field of water sports. So there can be a training of the water sports. So remember all the things which we have discussed. Now moving to the next question. Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs has approved an increase in the minimum support price for which type of crops? So recently there was opposition against the farmers bill. There are three bills of farmer which many parties are opposing that bill because some parties are saying that MSP will not be covered under this bills. That's why center government announced that MSP will not be taken. It means MSP will be as par as same under these bills, and it is a clear indication by the Cabinet Committee of Economic Affairs that government will resume the minimum support price, because government increased minimum support price for which type of crop, that are rabi crops, because currently rabi season is going on. That's why they announced the minimum support price for the all type of, it means the specialized crop of the rabi season. So you have to know about what is rabi, what is kharif, what is zad. So remember this, I will discuss, but first we have to discuss this news. You can see here, cabinet approves MSP for rabi crops for marketing season 2021 and 22. So on the lines of recommendation of Swaminathan Commission, this is very important, that is the MS Swaminathan. So that's why it is known as the Swaminathan Commission. MS Swaminathan is father of Indian Green Revolution. Indian Green Revolution. Cabinet Committee of Economic Affairs, chaired by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has approved an increase in the minimum support price for all mandated rabi crops for marketing season 2021-22. All with the principle of fixing the MSP at a level of at least 1.5 times of the production cost. It means if the production cost is 100 rupees, then MSP will be, that is 150. So it comes under the Pradhan Mantri Annadata Aay Sarakshan Abhiyan. It means to increase the farmer income, that is to double the farmer income by the year 2022. That is the program Pradhan Mantri Annadata Aay Sarakshan Abhiyan. So you can see here, what are rabi crops, what are kharif, what are zaid crops. Rabi crops are also known as winter crops, because rabi crops are sown in the winter, that is in October or to December. So this is the time period of the sowing of the rabi crops, and the rabi crops are harvested in April to June. Like in Punjab, Vaisakhi Day is celebrated because of this wheat. Wheat is a basically rabi crop. Availability of precipitation during winter months due to western disturbances helps in the success of the those crops, because there is a less rainfall and these crops need less rainfall. That's why these crops are known as the winter crops. Wheat, barley, peas, gram and mustard are example of the rabi season. So remember this also. Wet means that summer crops, because India has a large time period under the kharif crops, because of they all crops are dependent on the monsoon, and 9 to 10 months in a year comes under monsoon and the retreating monsoon. The crops are harvested in September, October, and basically sowing in the June and harvested in September, October. And famous crop is the paddy, that is rice, maize, jowar, bajra, and maximum crops in India comes under the kharif. I already told you, because our maximum year comes under the monsoon season. And zad means the time period between the rabi and kharif, that is known as the zad crop. So it is a short time period between the rabi and kharif season, and the crops are known as the summer months, that is March to May. And these are watermelon, muskmelon, any type of melon, cucumber, vegetables, even flowers, fruits. You can add more vegetables and the fruits. So these are the rabi, kharif and the zad crops. Now moving to the next question, but before that I want to tell you that MSP of wheat was 1925, but now it is increased by 50 rupees. So remember this. It means now MSP is the 1975. What is MSP? That is the minimum support price given to the farmers so that they can sell the produce at this price. That is the minimum price, 1975. Maximum they can get whatever they want, but minimum they will get, that is the surety given by the government, that is the 1975 for the wheat. Otherwise government also announced for the grams, rapeseed, mustard, sunflower, barley, but you have to remember just the wheat. Move to the next question, and this is most important question, mark under the most important section, that who won 77th edition of Italian Open men's singles. Who won 77th edition of Italian Open men's single? So it is a clay court tournament, and it is known as the Italian men because it played under the Foro Italico Court, Rome, Italy. That's why it is known as the Italian Men's Open, and it is related to tennis. So remember this. Italian Open men's singles won by, that is one and only person, Novak Djokovic. So you have to remember Novak Djokovic from Serbia. He won this tournament. He also was a winner of the Australian Open 2020. Australian Open 2020. Wimbledon was not held due to the COVID-19, but recently US Open was held, and the winner was Dominic Thiem. Who was the winner? Dominic Thiem. So remember this, Dominic Thiem from Austria won this tournament, that is the US Open. But Italian Open won by the Novak Djokovic. So remember these 2 or 3 things. Moving to the next question. Who won the 77th edition of Italian Open Women Singles? Italian Open Women Singles. And it was won by, that is person named as the Simona Halep. Simona Halep. She belongs to the Romania. She belongs to Romania. Who won the US Open? US Open was won by Naomi Osaka from Japan. And who won the Australian Open? That is by Sofia Kenin, and she belongs to USA. So remember this. I am again repeating. Australian men's, you can see here, that is Halep and Novak Djokovic. That is the Italian trophy. Now I'm again repeating one thing. That is first Australian Open. That is won by Novak Djokovic. And for women, it was won by, that is the Sofia Kenin. That is the Australian Open 2020. And moving to the next, Wimbledon not held due to the COVID-19. Third is the US Open. US Open men was won by the Dominic Thiem, that is from Austria, and women, that was won by Naomi Osaka, and she belongs to Japan. And next is the Italian Open. Italian Open, that is won by Novak Djokovic again, and woman Simona Halep from Romania, Novak Djokovic from Serbia. So remember these 3 tournaments because Wimbledon not held due to COVID-19. These 3 tournaments you have to remember. These are very important, and one question will be asked under this. This is marked under very important section. Very important section. Move on to the next question. Who is the only Indian appointed as a member of the 7-member task force of AFC, that is Asian Football Confederation, to regulate the football clubs in Asia and Australia? So news is very simple, that there is a task force of 7 members, so that these task force can suggest some ideas to regulate the football clubs in Asia and Australia. And one Indian was selected under this committee, under this the Asian Football Confederation committee of 7 members. Now you have to tell me which Indian was selected under this committee, and the name of that committee, name of the person of that committee is the Dr. Girija Shankar Mungali. So remember his name, Dr. Girija Shankar. Just remember these words, Dr. Girija Shankar. So you can see here his picture, that is the Dr. Girija Shankar, and this is the Asian Football Confederation, and Colonel Dr. Girija Mungali appointed as the Asian Football Federation Task Force. So remember this also. Who is the president of this AFC? President is Dato Windsor. Dato Windsor. Windsor. Windsor John. Otherwise, you can remember just name Windsor John. And where is the headquarters of Asian Football Confederation? That is in Malaysia. Remember this. Capital of Malaysia is Kuala Lumpur, and headquarters is in Kuala Lumpur. And who is the president? Basically, Winston John is the general secretary, not the president. I earlier pronounced it as the president, but it is the general secretary, Windsor John. Who is the president? You can see the option, that is the Sheikh Salman bin Ibrahim. He is the president of AFC. So remember this. He is the president, and Windsor John is the general secretary, or you can say the Asian Football Confederation secretary, that is the Windsor John. Now, moving to the next question. Which person named as interim president of Mali? Most important question. Mark under very important section. This is very important question because in Mali, military coup took place recently, and the military took over all the island country, that is the Mali. And due to this military coup, one military person occupied all the Mali island, and who become the interim president of the Mali. And there is an interim president and vice president of the Mali government. And who is that? And it means the defense minister of the Mali. It means the former defense minister of the Mali become the president. That is the temporary president. Interim stands for the temporary president. And it is Colonel Ba Nada. So remember this name, that is the Bahndaw, Bahanda, or you have to pronounce it as Bahnada. You can see here Bahanada, and you can see another person, that is the Colonel Assimi Goita. He elected as the vice president. He elected as the vice president, but it is also for the temporary period, that is just for the 18 months. Both are elected for the 18 months because the time period left was only 18 months. Earlier, the president of the Mali was Ibrahim Boubacar Keita, and that Ibrahim Keita resigned due to the military coup in the Republic of the Mali. That's why the person Colonel Ba Nada occupied the area, and he became the interim president of the Mali. So remember these two or three names. Who become the vice president? That is the Assimi Goita. Who become the interim president? That is the Ba Nada. And who was the earlier president? That was the Ibrahim Keita, or you can say Ibrahim Boubacar Keita. So remember these names, these are very important. That's why I marked under the most important section. Moving to the next question, you can see here Banada. He become the president, interim president of the Mali, and he elected for the 18 months. So you can see here, former Mali defense minister, retired Colonel Banada, was named as the interim president of the Republic of Mali. Colonel Assimi Goita was appointed as the vice president. They were appointed by a group of 17-member panel chosen by junta. Now, what is the meaning of junta? It means a military group or political group that rules a country after taking power by force. It means military took the power by force because I already told you that there was a military coup in the Mali. It means the martial law was applied by the military. That's why 17-member panel chosen by the junta to oversee an 18-month transition that will end in the fresh election. After 18 months, there will be a fresh election. But now onwards, for 18 months, Banada will be the president of the country. Moving to the next question, cultural and liberal icon US Justice, that is the Ruth Bader Ginsburg, passed away. Why she was very famous? Because she was the Supreme Court Justice. Because she was the Supreme Court Justice of the US. And she was liberal icon for the US. She was feminist, and you can say legal and liberal icon of United States of America. So this is very important, and remember her name, that is the Ruth Bader. Just remember this, Ruth Bader. That was the US Chief Justice of Supreme Court. Next question again from the news, that is the Harsh Kumar Banwala becomes the chairs SEBI Social Stock Exchange Technical Group. It means he become the chairman of this task group that was formed by the SEBI. I think you know this person, that is the Harsh Kumar. Why? Because he was the chairman of the NABARD Bank. He was the former chairman of the NABARD Bank. That's why Harsh Kumar name is familiar. And why this task force is prepared or formed? Because Harsh Kumar Banawala, that was the former chairman of NABARD, will develop a framework for non-profit organizations and even for the profit enterprises or the organizations. It means they will collaborate how to manage these non-profit organizations, how we can control these non-profit organizations and the profit enterprises together. So this is the main task behind this 7-member panel. And what about SEBI? Most important thing, that is the Securities and Exchange Board of India, established in 1988, and chairman is Ajay Tyagi. Headquarters is in Mumbai. Remember the chairman, that is the Ajay Tyagi, most important person for the SEBI. Moving to the next question, which state or UT government inked memorandum of understanding with the army to operationalize Kishtwar airstrip? If you know where is the Kishtwar, then you can answer easily. It means the state or the UT government allowed the army to operationalize Kishtwar airstrip. What is the meaning of airstrip? Airstrip is a location from which aircraft flight operations take place, that is, take off and landing of the aircraft took place in the airstrip. And where is this Kishtwar district? Kishtwar district lies near about the Jammu, that is almost 210 kilometer from the Jammu airport, and that's why the UT is the Jammu and Kashmir. So answer is the Jammu and Kashmir. And Manoj Sinha, that is the lieutenant governor recently appointed, allowed the army to operationalize Kishtwar airstrip. And this airstrip not only used for the military operation, it can be used for the public also. It means it can be used for the health indications, like if a person want to go to Jammu hospital. Then from Kishtwar to Jammu there is a distance of 8 hours if you are going by car or you by going with a vehicle. But by using this airstrip you can reach within the 30 minutes, even less than 30 minutes. So you can directly reach there. So this is the main benefit of the Kishtwar airstrip, and it will also improve the health condition of the state, or the you can say the UT of Jammu and Kashmir. There are two national parks which are very important. Even you can say three national parks are very important. One is the Salim Ali National Park. What is the new name of Salim Ali National Park? That is also known as the City Forest. Remember this, City Forest and the Salim Ali National Park. Second is the Dachigam National Park, DACHI, Dachigam National Park, and other is the Kishtwar, KISHT, Kishtwar National Park. And capital of Jammu and Kashmir, winter Jammu, and summer is the Srinagar. Remember S for S, that is the summer Srinagar, and winter is the Jammu. You can see here that is the Manoj Sinha ji and signed a MOU for the Kishtwar airstrip. I already told you all the things. Now moving to the next important question, most important question marked under the very important section, because which state government become the first state because of this? First state with policies on ethical, artificial intelligence, blockchain, and the cyber security. Even you can add the word that is laws, because this state government passed some laws related to, that is the cyber security policy, blockchain policy, artificial intelligence policy, and even to safeguard these securities, there is a law passed by the state government, and this state government is the Tamil Nadu. So remember which state become the first state with policies on ethical, artificial intelligence, blockchain, or the cyber security, because all these three laws passed by the this state government, that is the Tamil Nadu. You can see here Tamil Nadu, first of state with artificial intelligence, blockchain, cyber security, police. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, that is the Palaniswamy, released Tamil Nadu Cyber Security Policy 2020, Tamil Nadu Blockchain Policy 2020, that is Tamil Nadu Safe and Ethical Artificial Intelligence Policy 2020. It will recommend a 6-dimensional TAM-DEF. You have to remember this also, that is the TAM-DEF. What is the meaning of this TAM-DEF? T stands for the transparency and audit, accountability and legal issues, misuse protection, digital divide, data deficit, ethics, and fairness and equity. It means this team of the 6 members will work on the transparency and audit, accountability and legal issues, misuse protection, digital divide and data deficit, ethics, and the fairness and equity, so that no one can use artificial intelligence technology unethically, or no one can misuse these type of the facilities provided by the computer network. So this is very important. Tamil Nadu state become the first state who passed these type of the policies for the protection of artificial intelligence. It means they establish some type of police network to secure these type of the facilities. So remember this, Tamil Nadu. Very important, 2 national parks in the Tamil Nadu. One is the Annamalai National Park, Annamalai National Park. Second is the Mudumalai National Park, Mudumalai National Park. One is the Pampadam, that is also important, Pampadam, Pampadam Shola National Park, full name, otherwise you can remember just the Pampadam National Park. Even there is a Gulf of Mannar Menir National Park, that is the Gulf of Mannar Marine National Park, also there. So these are very important. There are 3 major ports in Tamil Nadu. That is, one is the you can say Ennore port, one is the Chennai port, one is the Tuticorin port. These are the 3 very important ports. So there is a Nilgiri forest also there, Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve also there, but it also shares the boundary with the Kerala and the Karnataka. So it is not only alone in the Tamil Nadu, it also shares the boundary with the Karnataka and the Kerala. Nilgiri forest, also known as the Blue Mountains, because of the color of the Blue Mountains. So moving to the next question, and which bank initiated emerging entrepreneurs business vertical to help entrepreneurs? It means this bank will provide facility to the new entrepreneurs, new businessmen who want to set up their new business. Then they can tie up with this new initiative of the bank, that is the emerging entrepreneurs business. And it is a network of which bank? It is a network of Bandhan Bank. So you have to remember this name, that is the Bandhan Bank. You can see here Bandhan Bank new vertical to help entrepreneurs. So Bandhan Bank has set up a new vertical called Emerging Entrepreneur Business. Just remember this EEB, that is the Emerging Entrepreneur Business, to assist his in this segment in becoming entrepreneurs. If you want to become a businessman, if you want to become an entrepreneur, then this bank will assist you for every kind of facility, like the team management, like finance facility, everything that is known as the emerging entrepreneur business. The bank has appointed Kumar Ashish as the executive president of this emerging entrepreneur business, and this vertical will be responsible for managing micro home loan, micro bazaar loan, micro enterprise loan, and it means they will also manage micro enterprise loan as well as the micro home loan and the micro bazaar loan, so that maximum to maximum entrepreneurs or maximum to maximum businessmen can be raised. This is the new initiative by the Bandhan Bank. So there are two things you have to remember. One is the emerging entrepreneur business, second is the Bandhan Bank. Who is currently the managing director and CEO of the Bandhan Bank? That is the Chandrasekhar Ghosh. Remember this, Chandrasekhar Ghosh. And where is the headquarters? That is in Calcutta, West Bengal, because it is a Calcutta branch. And the tagline is the Aapka Bala Sabki Balai. Aapka Bala Sabki Balai. So yaad rakho. And remember this also. Move on to the next question. HDFC Life Science Corporate Agency Agreement with which bank? It means HDFC Life Insurance Company signs corporate agency agreement with which bank? I already told you, if a that is insurance company ties up a agreement with the bank, it means the insurance products can be sold to the bank customers. This is the main motive behind the life insurance company tie up with which any bank. And this is again, I am repeating this question from the 3 days, that is the Yes Bank. One is the ICICI Prudential Life Insurance, second is the SBI Life Insurance, now there is a HDFC Life Insurance. All three life insurance companies tie up with which bank? Yes Bank. They want to revive the Yes Bank, that's why they are um, um, doing these things through their banks, that is the life insurance companies. ICICI Prudential also tie up with Yes Bank, SBI also, and HDFC Life Insurance, the company, also tie up with the Yes Bank, so that Yes Bank customers can purchase the HDFC Life Insurance, SBI Life Insurance, or ICICI Life Insurance. So remember this. And Yes Bank is very important because maximum stake is purchased by the SBI. Go on to the next question. Who wrote a book titled Voices of Dissent? This is very important book, mark under very important section, and the author is also very important. And all the authors are related to history, basically, because this book is written by very renowned historian, and the name of this renowned historian is Romila Thapar. I think you know her name, that is the Romila Thapar, very renowned historian. And this book is set to publish in October 2020, basically 2020. It means in the next month it will be published. The book is a historical essay that explores dissent, including its articulation and public response to its forms, with a focus on the recent protest in India against the citizenship law and the National Register of Citizens. I think all you know about the agitations in the New Delhi and the Assam state. So this is related to the against the citizenship law and the National Register of Citizens. And this is written by Rumila Thapar, that is the Voices of Dissent. She wrote so many books related to the history of India. One I remember, that is the A History of India. That is the name of a book. A History of India. This was written by her in 1966. Even Interpreting Early India. That is the Interpreting Early India, 1992. Early India from the origin to 1300 AD. That is from origin to 1300 AD. That was also a book written by the Romila Thapar. So remember just one book that is very important, A History of India. That was written by the Romila Thapar. And Ramchandra Guha, he was also very renowned historian. His famous book is the India After Independence. That is also very important. Move on to the next question, and you can see here Romila Thapar. Next question is, World Rhino Day is celebrated internationally on which day? So why this day is celebrated? Because for the conservation of the rhinos. So this is very simple, and there is a very famous national park for the rhinos, that is the Kaziranga National Park in the Assam. And the day is celebrated, that is the World Rhino Day, that is the 22nd September. Remember this, 22nd September. There are 4 days. Today we will discuss, and I will tell you the one story so that you can remember all the 4 days. And on 22nd September, World Rhino Day is celebrated, and the theme of the World Rhino Day is 5 rhino species forever. There are 5 species of the rhinos. That is the Javan rhino, that is the Javan, Javan rhino. One is the Sumatran rhino, that is from the Sumatra word, Sumatran rhino. It comes under the Sumatra Island. Black rhino, white rhino, and last one is the great one-horned rhino that is in the Kaziranga National Park, also known as the Indian rhino. So I am repeating the name: Javan, Sumatran, blue. Sorry, not blue. That is the black, white, and the one-horned rhino that is known as the Indian rhino. Or black Sumatran and Java rhino is the endangered, critically endangered. White rhino is near threatened, and great one-horned rhino that is also known as the Indian rhino is the vulnerable. So remember this: World Rhino Day, 22nd September. You can see here, World Rhino Day. Theme is the 5 rhino species forever, so that we can conserve all the 5 rhino species. So these are very important. Moving to the next question, and there is basically from the picture and learn from picture series, World Car Free Day. It means this day is just to create awareness about the fitness, about the pollution. That's why there is a day, World Car Free Day. Even you can see also that this day brings awareness to the benefits of travel options such as train, bus, bicycle, carpool, van pool, subway, or walk, because it means they just want to reduce the traffic as well as the pollution. So remember, 22nd September, you will not use a car and you will use other public domain transport system, but not a car. So this is the World Car Free Day, 22nd September. Next day is the World Rose Day, also known as Welfare of Cancer Patients. So why this celebration done on the 22nd September? Because this is just to spread hope and cheers to the cancer patient. So you can give the rose to the cancer patient, so they it will create the hope and cheer to the these patients. So these are very important. It is just a sympathy factor given by you. And why they choose rose? Because when people offer roses, it creates tenderness, love, and care. So this is very important. It is not related to the Valentine Day. It is the Rose Day because of the cancer patient. So remember this, 22nd September. So moving to the next question, and it is again one day, that is the 18th September, World Water Monitoring Day. World Water Monitoring Day, that is 18th September. So very simple. Why this day is celebrated is just to create awareness among the general public on the importance of protecting water resources across the globe. Because out of 100%, there is a 97% water is saline water. It means that is the salty water, and 3% water is the fresh water. Out of 3%, 1% is in the liquid form, and 2% is in the glacial form, that is in the solid form. So we can use only 1% out of 100%. So there is a water scarcity. So that's why there is a day, that is the 18th September, to create awareness among the general public on the importance of protecting water resources across the globe. So this is very important, and it is celebrated all over world by the World Water Monitoring Authority. And it comes under the organization that named as the Earth Echo, EARTHECHO, Earth Echo International. Its headquarters is in the United States. So this organization celebrated this day, that is the 18th September. So how you will remember these days? So first of all, 22nd September, 3 days. One is the Rose Day, second is the Car Free Day, and third is the Rhino Day. So we have to make one line, or we have to make one line for these 3 days. So we can make that, pick up one rose, and give it to Rhino. But when you are going to meet Rhino, you will not use your vehicle, you will go by walk. So it means you are giving a rose to Rhino because he is suffering from cancer. That's why you are giving a rose to Rhino. But when you are going to meet Rhino, you will use the no vehicle. You will use just or public vehicles, or you will use your feet. It means you will go by walk. So remember these, so that you can remember these all 3 days. And how you will remember this 18th September? 18th September, there is a one day, that is the Equal Pay Day. Now you can correlate. If the boss is not giving equal pay to men and women, then we will throw some water on his face. So by this you will remember the Water Monitoring Day. And second is the Equal Pay Day. And there is a ED, that is the Engineering Democracy, that is on the 15th September. So remember Engineering Day and the that is the International Democracy Day. So these are just tricks so that you can remember the days. These are very important days. And September month is known as the nutrition month, and September month is also known as the that is the Alzheimer month, also known as the Alzheimer month. So this is all for the day, and I think you understand all the news. And if you like this video, then subscribe this channel. And guys, please give us 300 likes, because by your likes, we can make more videos on the different contents like politics, history, economics, geography, and so many contents are there, so that we can make the content according to your likes. And it is Affairs Cloud PDF promise. It will boost your confidence on the general awareness section, and it is my personal promise, if you watch these videos for 1 month continuously, and you are reading our current affairs from the PDFs regularly for 1 month, you will realize what is the difference between you and before 1 month. So this is the main difference of the students who clearing exam. So watch videos regularly, read the news regularly from the PDFs. So this is a fair cloud promise that your question will be, your all questions will be covered which are coming in the exam. So thank you for watching this video. Take care.